welcome to Shoreline Music Monthly. My name is Mark Koshwitz. Very excited. I think we have a great show for you tonight. The Cabinet hasn't been in the show for a few months, but it's coming back this month, and we have the Stroh violin will be featured. You'll see more of that in a bit. But I'm also very excited about this month's musical guest. We're going to have our first 5-piece ever in here, so it could be pretty cool. But right now, I'm sitting with the songwriter and singer of the Podunk Throwbacks, Todd Skilton.
That's it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi, Mark. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming down. I know it was a little bit of a ride, and
Yep.
made it safe, so we're good.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to try, this is the biggest band we've ever tried in here, so very cool.
Yeah.
But you apparently write all the music.
Yeah, I do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And are also the singer.
Yeah. Yeah, I do kind of both things, yeah.
Okay. Play guitar?
Yes, I do.
Now, the rest of the cats in the green room,
Yeah.
who do we got with us tonight?
Well, I'm really lucky and blessed to have great musicians. We got a great lineup. Amy Jones plays violin. Jeff Curris is on the bass. Tom Kennedy plays guitar, and Javier Pitre is on percussion.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. Got some really good musicians to play with.
Excellent. So the songwriting piece comes from you.
Yeah.
And where does that come from?
I don't know, probably the same every other songwriter sits here and says, Part of it's from my life, and part of it's just me looking at the world, So, yeah, probably a combination of both of those things.
And then you bring them to the rest of the folks, and
yeah, I play in the house a lot, and first of all, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for my wife Amy, who plays violin with me. She contacted you. It's how, I wouldn't be here without her. She really made my songs and turned them into music, and these other guys that have come along like the music too, and they've added a lot. They do their own arrangements. I write the songs, but each one of the players in the band works out their own parts and brings that to the table, and that's really cool because some of the music has taken a different turn than I would have thought it had made.
like pacing, or
yeah, well, we've added one piece at a time. So when the first piece that came in was Jeff, the bass player, and he started playing some bass lines and started playing some breaks in the songs, and we're like, wow, that's cool. Okay, we'll keep that.
Emphasis.
Yeah, and then the next part was Tom. He came in and he started playing off of Amy, and that was really great. And finally the final piece was Hav. Having him on percussion he's a great musician. They're all great musicians. I'm really lucky. So I'm kind of the hack of the whole thing. I write the music.
I tend to doubt that,
I'm really
my friend.
blessed. I'm really blessed to be here with that group.
And it's got to be neat because Amy is your wife.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you have an idea around the house. I mean, you can kind of start fleshing it out.
Well, that's why I started chuckling, because I work on stuff and she eavesdrops, and if she likes what she hears, it sneaks in a recorder
Stealth
and says,
fiddle.
No, she'll come in and announce herself, but she'll sneak a recorder in. We have a Zoom, and she sticks it in different places so that I can't find it and turn it off. And she'll go, I like that, you should play that again. And she's recording the whole thing, so, which has come in handy, but it's not part of the juice, when you're writing a song. It's about, being left alone and trying to figure stuff out, and, it's not.
But the recording thing is a wonderful idea, because I can't imagine how many little pieces of what could have been fabulous songs have been lost by people over the years.
She saved me 1,000 times, I can tell you that. She saved me 1,000 times. standing on his land, holding on to what he can. When he's standing where his grandpa tilled the land, and his daddy's dying words, hold on to what you can. When he heard the voices coming down, they said, son, you better learn to hold your ground. Well, I ain't like my daddy, I can read a book. You may not like my type, you don't have to look. If you're gonna make light of me, got one thing to say. Hey, if it's major league you want, I got all day. And they heard the paper man was coming down. They said, son, you got to leave this hallowed ground. And he heard the voices coming down. They said, son, you better learn to hold your ground. Well, I ain't got your money or your fancy shoes. I got one thing you don't got, nothing left to lose. If you're gonna make light of me, got one thing to say. Hey, if it's major league you want, why got all day. And it heard the paper man was coming down. They said, son, you got to leave your hallowed ground. When he heard the voices coming down, they said, son, you better learn to hold your ground.
Hello and welcome once again to Cabinet of Curiosities. This month we're going to be talking about the Stroh violin. but it's as much about one man's innovations to help overcome obstacles in a new industry, followed rather swiftly by another man's innovations that made them all obsolete. In the early 1900s, the recording industry was just getting rolling, but the public had really embraced the idea of being able to listen to professional musicians in their own living rooms. At the time, to make it happen, the musicians would play in front of a large cone that would focus the sound waves to a needle that would vibrate and then make impressions on what was first a foil type cylinder, replaced later by a wax cylinder, and then eventually to a disc. And then these masters would be what was used to then create the copies that were then sold to the public. This technique was far better suited for some instruments, louder instruments mostly, the human voice singing. Many of the original early recordings were of Caruso. Percussion, brass, all fared well. Some instruments far less so. In particular, the violin. In the violin, the vibrations of the string are carried through the bridge to the body, that then becomes the resonance chamber that amplifies the sound. But as a rather small instrument, it has a much smaller resonance box than many. Early recordings of the violin typically came out weak sounding and thin. Enter John Matthias Augustus Stroh and his innovations. Born in 1828, apprentice watch and clockmaker, came to England in 1851 to see the wonders of the Great Exhibition. He ended up staying. He took some of the concepts in place for the playback device of the era, the gramophone, wherein sound vibrations were transferred to a metal plate and then were amplified in a sound box and projected out a horn. And he applied those to the violin, making it a far more directional instrument. It became quite popular for recording. You can see it here in this picture. Perhaps we could zoom in on the gent using it. But our man John, he wasn't done yet. He applied his innovations to cellos, to string bass, many other stringed instruments of the time as well. And as different as this may look to a regular violin, if you look closely, you'll see all the important bits are here. Tuning pegs, fingerboard, the bridge, of course, tailpiece, chin rest. The only thing that's different, and of course it is very obvious, is the body. And everyone is so used to the shape of the violin, and the way it looks. This does not look like a violin. But in effect, it is still bringing vibrations to the bridge. That's where the change occurs. Because now instead of going to the body, it goes to a gramophone type cartridge, which then amplifies it and sends it out the horn, making it, as mentioned, a far more directional instrument. So you'd think things are going pretty good for Mr. Stroh. Well, you remember that second guy I mentioned? In his innovations? I would like to introduce you now to Mr. Edward Christopher Wente, pictured here with his newly invented condenser microphone, which ushered in the era of electronic recording, where individual instruments could be mic'd separately to make a better, more representative mix, thereby basically making obsolete the need for fiddles with horns. Now, the one in the cabinet is actually a variant known as a Romanian horn violin. Same concept, but rather than Stroh's patented proprietary medium in the cartridge, this uses actually a gramophone cartridge put in, and so they're easier to make. And they're still actually quite popular in parts of Romania. So some of Stroh's ideas still do live on to this day. So We should probably take this baby for a test ride so you could hear how she sounds, right? Perhaps a little Foggy Mountain Breakdown or Orange Blossom Special. Let's see here. I think I hold this thing. If only I knew someone who actually knew how to play one of these things.
Bobby Pickett, musical Swiss Army knife from someone you could x-ray. What are you doing here?
I'm here to help. It sounded like you were abusing livestock.
Oh, well, perhaps you could help me out.
Sure, buddy. Anything for you.
Thank you all for watching, and thanks to my friend Bobby Pickett for coming down here and saving my bacon. Remember, if you can make a sound with something, you can probably play it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.
Louder I scream, the more silent I get. The more that I pray, bigger the bed. Harder I look, the less that I see. Stare in the mirror for traces of me. Are you cashing out, my friend? Buying out your time again. Nightmare that's stuck in my dream. Changing directions at every turn. Lighting a fire that never burns. Running like hell and going nowhere. Having a story with no one to tell. Are you cashing out, my friend? Buying out your time again. Nightmare that's stuck in my dream. Is it foreshadowed or calling of fate? Perhaps it's just realizing things that I hate. Maybe it's chocolate that's covered in fear. Perhaps it's the grateful mask that I wear. Nightmare that's stuck in my dream. Harder I fall, the softer I land. Tighter I hold, more that you push. Farther you run, closer I get. The demon inside is losing his net. Are you cashing out, my friend? Buying out your time again. Nightmare that's stuck in my dream. foreshadowed or calling of fate. Perhaps it's just realizing things that I hate. Maybe it's chocolate that's covered in fear. Perhaps it's the grateful mask that I wear. Nightmare that stalked my dream. Is it foreshadowed or calling of fate? Perhaps it's just realizing things that I hate. Maybe it's chocolate that's covered in fear. Perhaps it's the grateful mask that I wear. Nightmare that stopped my dream. Nightmare that stuck in my dream. Nightmare that stuck in my dream.
Now, upcoming stuff, if the folks, this won't air till I think October 11th. We're going.
Okay. Yeah.
So I saw something called the Glastonbury Apple Festival, which
Yep.
I had never heard of it. Like 30 bands?
You know what? It's our first time playing, and I had never heard of it before we were invited. So you'll have to have me back on your show again at some point, and I'll let you know how it went.
Well, I circled it on my own calendar.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Okay.
I saw lots of names there that I know are quality, and
Yeah.
that's
No, we're very excited to do it. I'm unfortunate enough I haven't done it yet, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's October 15th. It's
Right.
been added to the local festival page on our
Awesome.
website. So
Yep.
anybody who wants to find out more information can do that.
Great.
Anything else coming up? That was the only note I made of upcoming, because I got to 30 bands in 3 days and kind of stopped.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure there is, but I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay, fair enough.
And on camera, I'd like to say thank you very much for having us down here, and I really dig what you're doing. I saw all the different songwriters that you had on your show, and I think what you're doing down here is great, and thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for
Appreciate
being part of
man.
it.
When we started, I was fine, lovey-dovey all the time. Then we started drinking fine. It got ugly every night. Got mad and mean, everything got obscene. I didn't know what to say, just wanted to go away. It don't matter, baby, if you're walking out the door, yeah. Don't let it hit you, baby, don't wanna see you no more. Alright. When we started, I was fine. Why, I still had half my mind. Then we started turning gray. It got ugly every day. Got mad, mean, everything got obscene. I didn't know what to say, just wanted to go away. It don't matter, baby, if you're walking out the door, yeah. Don't let it hit you, baby, don't wanna see you no more. Alright. still had half my mind. Then we started turning gray. Lose my mind every day. Got mad and mean. Everything got obscene. I didn't know what to say. Just wanted to go away. It don't matter, baby, if you're walking out the door, yeah. Don't let it hit you, baby. Don't wanna see you no more. No more, yeah. No more crying, no more,
All right, thank you once again for watching Shoreline Music Monthly. This month you've already watched the history of the Stroh violin, but funny thing about violinists, if you leave a Stroh violin around, it can't go unplayed. So the wonderful Amy Jones from the Podunk Throwbacks is going to play us out. And thank you once again for watching. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.